This is a pattern I see constantly with coaches, and it's one of the biggest things holding people back from consistent revenue. When you have clients, you're head down in delivery, you're showing up to sessions, you're supporting them, you're doing the work, and your content falls off. Your sales conversations stop, you're not thinking about filling your pipeline because you're busy. Then those clients finish, and suddenly you need money. So you switch into sales mode, you start posting more, you start reaching out, you start having sales conversations, and eventually you sign new clients. And then the cycle repeats. You're either feasting or you're in famine, but you're never doing both at once. And today I'm going to show you why this pattern exists and what it's costing you and how to break out of it so your business can actually grow. Let me paint a picture that I see constantly. Month 1, you have a great month, let's say 10K. You're excited, you feel like you're finally hitting your stride. Month 2, you're busy delivering to those clients. You don't have as much time for content or sales. You make 3K, you start to panic a little. Month 3, you panic post. You push hard on sales, you land a few clients, you hit 8K. Okay, not bad. And then month 4 again, you're busy with delivery, content falls off, you make 4K, and this cycle just repeats over and over and over. Sound familiar? Here's what's actually happening. You're in what I like to call the feast and famine cycle. When you feast, you're focused on delivery, and when you're in famine, you're focused on sales. But you're never doing both at the same time, and that's why your income goes up and it goes down. Let me break down the specific things that create this pattern. First, you're creating packages to make money, not packages that fit into your life. When you hit a low revenue month, what do? You create a new package, something that you can sell quickly, something that will bring in cash now, but you're not thinking about it. Can I actually deliver this sustainably? Does this fit with my other offers? Is this something I even want to be doing? You're just thinking, I need money. So you create the package, you sell it, you deliver it, and then you're exhausted. And the cycle continues. Let me give you an example. You're a mindset coach. You usually work with clients on deep subconscious reprogramming over 3 months, but you need cash this month. So you create a quick 4-week package on morning routines and productivity because you think that's easier to sell. You sell it, but delivering it feels draining because it's not what you actually love coaching on. Your clients don't get the deep transformation you're known for, and you're back to square one next month, needing to sell again. Second, you're only selling when you need money. Here's a pattern I see all the time. When you're in a high revenue month and you're busy with clients, you stop posting, you stop selling, you stop showing up because you're focused on delivery. But then when those clients are done and you need new clients, you have to start the selling process all again from scratch. There's no momentum. There's no pipeline. You're starting at 0 every single time. Third, you don't have a revenue plan. Most coaches I talk to don't actually know what they need to do each month to hit their revenue goals. They just hope it works out. They post content and hope someone buys. They show up in the DMs and hope someone converts. But hope is not a strategy. Without a clear plan for how many clients you need, what packages you're selling, and how you're going to fill your pipeline, you're always going to be inconsistent. Fourth, you're doing all the things, but not the right things. This is the big one. You're busy, you're working hard, you're posting content, you're engaging, you're showing up, but you're not focused on the activities that actually generate revenue. You're focused on the activities that feel productive. Tweaking your website, redoing your Canva graphics, planning out your content calendar for the next 3 months, reorganizing your client portal. These things aren't bad, but they're not revenue generating activities. And when you're spending most of your time on non-revenue generating activities, your revenue is going to be inconsistent. Now, let me show you what's different about the coaches who consistently hit 5-figure months and create their first or next 100K plus year. First, they have a package suite that's sustainable. They're not creating new offers every time they need money. They have 2 to 3 core offers that they sell consistently, offers that they actually enjoy delivering, offers that fit into their life and their capacity. And they've done the work to make sure these offers actually serve their ideal client and move them towards their goals. So they're not consistently reinventing the wheel. They're refining and optimizing what already works. For example, a life coach might have a 3-month one-on-one program for clients working on self-worth and relationship patterns, a 6-month group program for high-achieving women breaking people-pleasing cycles, and a VIP day for clients who need a breakthrough on a specific issue. That's it. 3 clear offers, each one she loves delivering, each one profitable, each one filling a specific need, and second, they're always selling. Even when they're busy with clients, they're still posting content. They're still showing up. They're still moving people through their pipeline because they understand that sales is not a sometimes thing. It's an always thing. They've built systems so that their content, their email list, if you have that, their DM conversations are always working to bring in new leads. So when they have capacity for new clients, there are people ready to buy. And third, they have a clear revenue plan. They know exactly what they need to do each month to hit those goals. They know how many clients they need, they know what packages they're selling, and they know how many sales conversations they need to have. It's not guesswork, it's math. And when you have a plan, you can execute it, you can track it, you can adjust it. You're not just hoping for the best. You're strategically creating the results that you want. And fourth, they focus on needle-moving activities. They're not spending their time on busy work. They're spending their time on the activities that actually generate revenue, creating content that converts, having sales conversations, nurturing their audience, refining their offers based on client feedback. Everything else either gets delegated, automated, or eliminated because they know that their time is their most valuable asset. And if they're spending it on things that don't move the needle, they're never going to get the results they want. And here's the thing that I think is the most important to understand. The difference between inconsistent revenue and consistent revenue is not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about doing less of the wrong things and more of the right things. Most coaches I work with are already working really hard. They're already putting in the hours, but they're putting those hours into activity that doesn't create consistent revenue. So the shift isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about clearing off the things that aren't working and focusing on what actually moves the needle. And what moves the needle looks different for everyone, depending on your life, your capacity, your season. A mum with young kids, me, is going to structure her week differently than someone without children. Someone working a full-time job while finding their coaching business is going to have different capacity than someone who's full-time in their business. But the principle is the same. You focus your available time on revenue-generating activities, content that converts, sales conversations, client delivery. That's it. Everything else gets eliminated, delegated, or pushed to the back burner. Here's the framework I use with my clients inside Cash and Command to create consistent 5-figure months. Phase 1, offer clarity. We make sure your packages are dialed in. They serve your ideal client, they feel good for you to deliver, they fit your revenue goals. No more creating offers out of the panic, just clear, sustainable offers that work. Phase 2, revenue planning. We map out exactly what you need to do each month to hit your goals. How many clients, which offers, what activities. So you're not guessing, you have a plan. Phase 3, pipeline building. We create systems so you're always filling your pipeline. Always moving people closer to buying, even when you're busy with clients. Your pipeline is still growing. And phase 4, execution. We focus on the needle-moving activities and eliminate everything else. Your time goes into content that converts, sales conversations, and client delivery. That's it. When you follow this framework, here's what happens. You're no longer in the feast and famine. You're generating leads consistently. You're having sales conversations consistently. You're enrolling clients consistently because you have offers that are sustainable and feel good. You're not burning out. You can keep this up month after month after month. That's how you go from inconsistent revenue to consistent revenue. I'm talking about the 5-figure months. That's how you create your first 100K or next 100K year. If you stay in this pattern, what does your next year look like? More ups and downs, more stress, more wondering if you're going to hit your goals? You might have some good months. You might even have a few great months, but you're not going to have consistent, predictable revenue. And without that, you can't plan. You can't invest, you can't grow, you're stuck. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose to do something different. If you're ready to get off the roller coaster and create consistent 5-figure months, that's exactly what we do inside Cash and Command. We build your revenue plan, we dial in on your offers, we create your pipeline. We focus on what actually moves the needle. And in 6 months, you're on your way to your first or next easy and effortless 100K year. If that's what you want, there's a link in the description to book a free call with me. On that call, we'll map out exactly where you are right now, where you want to be, and what it would look like to work together. And if you're not quite ready to book, but you want to take that first step, DM me the word plan and I'll send you over my revenue planning worksheet so you can start mapping this out yourself. But here's what I know. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. The roller coaster will continue. Or you can choose to build something different, something consistent, something sustainable. The link is in the description. Book the call. Let's build your first or next 100K year together.